Hey everyone, it's April with Hair 101 and I am doing my good friend's hair and I just thought, hey, let's make a video just because we can. So let me tell you what I mixed up. This is Shades EQ 5G, the caramel, and this is just blonde dimensions with the Redken bleach with, I did 40 volume because we really want to match what she has on her ends and it's very light and we're foiling so it's not going to be on the scalp. So I'm just going to retouch these highlights. She wants a brighter springy look, so right now she kind of has like this mellow ombre going on. We're going to mix it up and put some lowlights and some highlights throughout all of it and just give her a new fresh look. Let me explain what we're going to do with the pattern here. So you don't want them super chunky, right? You kind of want it weaved out. So I'm just going to start on the mohawk, and she usually parts her hair in the middle, so I'm just going to do the very top mohawk section. If she were to have parted her hair really far on the side, sometimes I take the part a little bit towards that side just so that the part line doesn't have the foil packets. Like, you know, when you put a foil packet in, the head starts to roll and it like doesn't get to the root right there as good. So either take a smaller section or move it over a little bit or both. So that's how you kind of avoid that. So we're just going to take the mohawk. And then since we don't want it to look super lined, like she doesn't want to have like stripes, but we do want to have pieces that you can tell what they are, I'm going to go ahead and weave it diagonally. So that's what I'm going to do. That's the technique we're going to use on this. I'm going to just start in the corner. Maybe we'll go on this side. And we're just going to take sections like this. And then I'm going to weave chunky weaves out. And that's just going to kind of break it up. So here we go. And I'm not going to color anything right against her face, just because she doesn't want to have to deal with too much regrowth, and it'll help out a little bit with that. So I'm going to leave this perimeter around her face and just take this little piece right here, and we're going to do this one blonde. Okay, and since her hair is super, super long, I'm going to use this board just to kind of help keep everything in order. All right, so we're going to start with the highlight. And her ends are pretty light. I'm just going to kind of feather it down because she doesn't really need anything on her ends. And then I'm just going to lay another foil on top, go underneath, and push that against her scalp. And I'm doing that, I'm laying the foil on top because her hair's so long, but I want to keep this end out. And so I don't want to squish that color into her end. So that's just how I'm doing it. All right. So now that we got that foil in, we're going to go ahead and take the next section down. And I'm going to take about 1/2 inch and lay that down. And then I'm going to take 1/4 inch off the top of that section and weave out a brown section here. And I didn't even use my color board. Look at me. So what I really like about this Shades EQ is it's a deposit only, meaning her natural hair pigment is not going to be lifted out. It's just going to be like an overlay on top of what she already has. And then those packets I'm folding up because everything in it's colored. But the overlay is going to, what it's going to do is the gloss is going to slowly fade as her hair grows out, and she won't feel like she needs to keep up on those low lights or have reverse roots since we're going a little bit darker than her natural. And that's why I decided to use Shades EQ. Okay, and then on this section I took 1/4 inch. I'm just going to weave out some blondes. And yes, the blondes she will have to feel like she can retouch, but her hair's already kind of like has that blonde feel to it. And if she grows it out, then she'll just be back to like an ombre effect. So it'll be good then too. Like I don't think that will bug her. So right?
Right.
There we go. I always say I'm going to do things and then I forget to do it. Like, I want to use this board. Oh, and I don't use it. I actually do need to use it for the blondes so I can see what's going on. So you can see here, it's a little bit dark still on the ends that I need to get up, so I'm going to fold it up in there. But I want to keep all these really light ends out. So there we go. So here's another thing. When you start to feel like you're twisting your body and tippy-toeing to reach the spot you need to do, just have your client tilt their head and get into a spot where it's comfortable for you. It's easier for them to twist their body one time every 4 to 6 weeks in a weird position for a few minutes than it is for you to be doing it every single day for hours at a time. So always remember, if you're gonna have to reach to get somewhere that's uncomfortable, make them do some of the work. Okay, so because I started having to lean too much and it was just ridiculous, I moved to the back and I'm just gonna do the same section. I'm just gonna start on the other corner. And it doesn't really matter which one you start with because it's okay if you have 2 in a row when you meet up here. You can figure it out. If you wanna have a little bit more blonde, then make sure that the last 2 are blonde that are together. But I'm not gonna worry about the pattern and I'm just gonna go for convenience in standing positions and stuff. So for the sides, I'm just gonna do 2 of each color. I'm just gonna kind of take a section. I'm gonna start with the blonde and these are just gonna be straight. And that's about how big. They're about a little bigger than 1/4 of an inch chunks. But then I'm leaving like an inch of natural hair out. So it's like or a 1/2 inch out and 1/4 of an inch in. That's just kind of how I'm leaving it. And make sure when you're foiling that you're not putting especially if you're using bleach, that you're not going over the foil, because the bleach is gonna swell a little bit anyway. If you go over that, it's just gonna bleed. So you wanna just go right by it. It'd be nice to have some of those longer foils, but if you don't have them, this works too. And then there's the line, and I'm just kind of blending it down into it. Keeping the end to the side so it's not getting colored, and then folding it up. And then I usually just clip that packet to the edge of the other ones, and then I'm going to take like a nice chunk of hair, probably about an inch, and just put it up there with it. And then this will be my brown section. I'm taking pretty wide sections at this point because I want to do as little foils as possible on the sides, but still have a good amount of hair colored. And the thing is you just have to make sure that it's not wider than your foil. And then when you put the comb in, I usually start on I'm right-handed, so I kind of push it over to the left side, and then I hold the hair tight, and then I kind of use the tip of the comb to roll it around to get it nice and tight into the hair right there. If you poke up too hard with the comb, it's gonna poke through the foil. You don't wanna do that, so just keep that in mind. And whenever I'm going from light to dark, I always make sure that I use a lot of color, and I usually lift up the bottom of the hair to make sure that the color's on both sides so you don't have any dry spots. Because if you have any dry spots, you're gonna have like a little white or light colored circle where the color didn't get in the hair. It'll be spotty. All right, so same thing with the back. I'm just gonna flip up these foils and take like a 1-inch section just to clean it up, clamp that up. And I'm just gonna do a few foils just to this line right in here. Probably just 2 or 3 foils. All right, so I just rinsed her hair and conditioned, or washed and conditioned it. So now I'm just blowing it out after that little trim with this ginormous round brush. This is the Monster Bent Brush number 1, MB1, and I love these brushes. I love them so much that when I drop them and break them, I just keep using them anyway. And I need to buy more, but I just don't. They still work, it's just kind of ugly, right? It's not supposed to look like that. This is our end result. So this is a perfect transition for someone that maybe is sick of their ombre or their melt and they kind of want to start transitioning over, or just want a little bit more of like a pop in their roots. So if you want to look up, we can show them the pattern here. See, it's really broken up. I mean, there are some chunks here, but if she wants to get rid of them, all she would need to do is part it in a different place and it looks totally different. So I like doing the angle. Okay, so here's the final spin. This is what the back looks like. And you see her ends are still lighter, and that's kind of what we wanted to keep. We wanted to keep the whole look where it's like from a little bit darker to light, but she has all of these low lights, and these highlights that kind of give it some dimension. All right, you guys, thanks for watching. Let me know if this was helpful for you guys. This is what it looks like when it's done, so maybe it'll make you guys a little bit more confident to try the pattern or the color next time. And let me know what you guys think on the comments below. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed. Please, please, please subscribe to the channel. Let your friends know, let your other hairstylist friends know. And you can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Thanks, guys. Love you lots. Bye.